does that even mean, Bowers game?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited checking out Blurt, the Webster's game of word racing. This is for 3 to 12 players, ages 10 plus. It'll take, I don't know, about 15 to 30 minutes to play. And in Blurt, you are going to be either on a team by yourself or breaking up into teams and trying to cross the finish line by blurting out the answer to various different definitions of words. It comes with a base version of the game and a junior version of the game in the box, so it must be worth the money, right? Let's open it up and I'll tell you. Alrighty then, we're taking a look at what you're going to get inside of Blurt. First and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule booklet. It's 2 pages, double-sided, no color pictures, anything fancy like that. In actuality, this last page is just the junior version of the rules. Very simple game. I'll have you up and running in no time at all, and I can teach you how to play right now. So in Blurt, you are going to be trying to go from the start and get to the finish line. You're going to be doing this by blurting out answers to various different word definitions. So you will get the definition, then you will have to blurt out the answer. If you do that, you will get to move forward X amount of spaces. X is how high the die was rolled. So I'm going to show you a little example right now. We got 3 pawns set up on the board. We got a big old box of cards. And what's going to happen is one player is going to be the reader, and they're going to roll the dice, and they're going to read off a question. So, blue side is the easier side for the junior version. The red side is the more advanced version. So, they will read off the 1, 2, 3. Since we rolled a 3, they'll read off the top. 4, 5, 6, they would read off the bottom. To keep 2 or more objects in the air at one time by skillful tossing and catching. So then they would read that out, and everyone would have to yell as fast as they can. Throwing, juggling, juggle. And they'd be like, aha, you get it. So red would get to go forward 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. This would go into the back, into the discard side, which is nice that they did that, I do believe. And then you would rinse, wash, and repeat. Except now, this would get passed to the next player, who would now be the reader. So they would roll the die 1 again, they'd get a 4, and they'd say, alrighty then. A thin, watery porridge. And then everyone would try and guess, 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 hooray, someone got it. They get to go forward 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's pretty much, in a nutshell, how the game is going to be played. But there is one unique aspect to this game that changes everything, and that is called a one-on-one. So, you might be asking yourself, what happens if, say, yellow won next and they go 4 spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. They would now have a one-on-one with the blue player, or the blue team, because this can be played in teams, in which the red team would read a question. Only the blue and the yellow can answer it. So even if there was another player in the game, only these 2 can answer it. The team that gets it correct gets to stay on that spot. The team that gets it incorrect, or the team that doesn't get it, I should say, has to go back to the original spot that yellow was. So let's just say yellow was here, and they went 1, 2, 3. They won the head-to-head, then blue would go back to the green spot. Now, there's one other way that you can get a head-to-head, and that is because, as you may notice, there are colors all around the board. So let's just pretend that we got, this is the game right now. There we go. And blue lands right here. Blue is clearly in last place. However, they can challenge anyone in front of them to a one-on-one. And if they win that one-on-one, then they swap places. Yes. So if blue challenges red and red loses, blue and red would swap places. Now, if blue would have lost, they would go back the 4 spaces or 5 spaces or 3 spaces or however many spaces that they move to get there. Anywho, you're going to continue to do this until someone gets to the start line again, at which point they will be the winner of the game. Now, there is also a junior version of the game that is included in here that changes some rules slightly. They use the other side of the cards, which are a little bit easier. Also, it adds 2 extra players, because I couldn't even imagine playing the 6 players with the base version of the game. The last unique twist in the junior version of the game is that you don't have one-on-ones, and you write down your answers instead of blurting them out, which kind of cancels out the name of the game. But that, in a nutshell, is how Blurt is played. Alrighty then, Blurt. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the pro side, the game is easy to understand, easy to learn, easy to teach, which is always a good thing. It can accommodate a large group of people, potentially, if you don't mind breaking up into teams. And with this game, that really didn't bug me too much. I normally am not the biggest fan of games where it's like, you can play 3 players or this can play 9 players because you just have 3 teams of 3. But with this kind of game, you're going to have a lot of people blurting out different answers. I didn't mind it so much. I also like the fact that they included the junior version of the game in there. That obviously adds slightly more value to the game. It really does. Also, there's a huge selection of definitions and words, so you're not going to be running into the same ones repeatedly, which is always a nice thing. Also, the die roll, so you're never going to get the same words, and you're never going to be, it's not going to be an issue that you're running into the same definitions and the same words. That's it. That's what I got. Moving on to the cons. Blurt. Wow. Broken. Broken is the word they're looking for. Not blurt, broken. This game is broken, and I'll tell you exactly why the game is broken and stupid and dumb. It's not... Okay. Jenny is on the last space. She is 1 space away from winning. Johnny is belligerently drunk and has only gained 4 spaces the entire game. However, by dumb luck, Johnny gets one of the questions right and moves on to a space that is his color. He challenges Jenny, who has been playing exceptionally well, to a one-on-one, and by some miracle, he wins. He is now in first place and 1 spot away from winning the game. The one-on-one mechanism is just the worst thing ever. And this game shouldn't get a pass because it's a party game. That's a stupid mechanism. Let's just take that mechanism out of this game and put it into another game. Let's just say Ticket to Ride. That's a good example. Let's say you're playing Ticket to Ride. You have completed none of your tickets. You get blocked out of the middle. You're playing like crap. You're giving up all hope. But then you have the opportunity to just switch with the person who has completed all their tickets and has the longest route, has a bunch of 6 routes, and you win it. And so now you're going to win the game, most likely. That's dumb. That's stupid, it's dumb, and it ruins the entire game. But going on to the gameplay itself, it's okay. It's boring, you know. You just, hey guys, a place for teaching and learning. School! School! I gotta go have 2 spaces! Woohoo! It's just not a fun game. I mean, at its core, granted, with that one-on-one, it completely breaks the thing, but the gameplay itself is boring. Now, I will say the junior version is slightly more redeeming because it's a little bit challenging for them. They have to write it down. It has educational merit and value, which I can appreciate. And if you're looking at this as an educational experience for younger kids, ages 7 to 9, then I can give this a very, very lukewarm, yeah, if you can find it cheap, it's not a bad one for that. But for everyone else, Blurt is just not worth your time, at least in my humble opinion. So that is Blurt, the Webster's game of word racing, filled with definitions. God, that bugs the crap out of me. Can't spell definitions, you gotta say definitions. Blurt, the Webster's game of word racing is blah. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know what is your least favorite party game. What is a game that is typically played at parties that you just cannot stand? Now, for me personally, I'm going into kind of a different genre. I'm going to a drinking game, which they're played a lot at parties. But for me personally, I hate Kings. Kings is not a game. It's not a game. It's just, hey, we're going to draw cards and do random stuff based on what the cards are. It's not a game. Don't call it a game. Hate Kings so freaking much. But what party game do you hate? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.